Hello and welcome to the third of the webinars we're doing today to launch Mote 2.0. And I'm joined here for this one. This is my third of the day. So I'm still standing, I'm still loving this, but I'm joined by Mote Ambassador Leader and someone everybody knows. It's Alex Isaacs. How are you doing, Alex?
All good over here. I hope that I'm coming through clearly. Couldn't be more excited to be at a proper webinar with you today, showing off some of the impactful new features that you've brought to Mote 2.0. So couldn't be more excited. We had a little bit of a taste yesterday, and with the full-blown webinars that you and Eleni and you and Shelly put on today, I'm just excited to be a part of the third one and hopefully share with the world what we're doing at Mote.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, we're going to get straight into it. So thanks to everyone who's joining. I'm going to show a little video which tells a little bit of the story about how we got here. And then we'll be back in just a minute. So let me get that video going. Is this one? Since launching Mote in 2020, we've been on a journey alongside millions of educators and learners to discover the power of voice to make learning more accessible and human. Your real-world stories and feedback have consistently shown us the power of voice within the classroom and also where we need to do more. So today, I'm incredibly excited to announce Mote Read Aloud. We've reimagined our Chrome extension to help every student to access and engage with digital content, no matter their learning needs. Mote Read Aloud is the biggest upgrade we've ever made to the Mote Chrome extension, and that's why we're calling this latest version Mote 2.0. With Mote 2.0, anyone can access high-quality text-to-speech, to read aloud any web content, to record voice notes more seamlessly than ever, and to translate both text and audio in more than 50 languages. And all of this works right where you already teach and learn in the browser, across web pages, Google Workspace, and soon within PDF documents. We've also heard from you about the importance of knowing how students are using instructional supports, and that's why we'll soon be providing data and AI-powered insights that can transform your understanding of instructional and intervention decisions. This is just the beginning. Over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll be introducing many new intelligent features to make learning even more personalized and engaging. So thank you for being with us on this journey, because together we're making digital learning work for everyone, or as we like to say, speaking to every learner. Okay, that is the backstory, and I guess you've been with us on that journey, Alex. But I mean, you've seen how much we've evolved the product over the past 12 months, and yet, for me at least, it still feels consistent and coherent with the journey we've always been on with Mote.
Well, I was thinking about this aspect while preparing for the webinar today, and I almost view it as there's still those great opportunities to provide personalization, those voice messages that are going to encourage, give feedback, all of that kind of amazing stuff. But I almost view it as if you don't have the time to front load that in, these new read aloud capabilities are there to really help. And I can give a quick personal story. I have a amazing member of the school community where I work at Long Branch Public Schools at the historic high school, and she recently had eye surgery. So Lisa Johnson, she's a wonderful person. And I didn't want to have to make her read my text message, and I wanted her to hear my inflection and let her know that I was so happy that everything went well. So I was using Mote to do that. She was an Android user. I'm an iPhone user. So as a result of that, I needed that ability to get an audio message to her quickly, and I immediately went to Mote. So the biggest compliment I can give as an ed tech enthusiast is I use Motes outside of my job. I use it for tutoring students. I use it when I'm checking in on people. So I just love that while this is a major relaunch and revamping of the platform, those personalized foundations that really built the platform are still there, still intact, and still available to our users around the world.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And I think one important takeaway, although we are going to focus on all of the new exciting stuff, which we think really has the power to transform, to remove barriers, and to save a lot of time, we haven't taken anything away. So if you love using Mote with voice recording, it's still there. It has still the same integrations. But what we're trying to do is, in those cases that people were using Mote really as a means of providing accessibility, as a means of providing an accommodations for the student. We've realized that actually AI and voice technology can be used to really reduce that burden. It's going to be even more convenient for that student. So we're really excited about that. And with that, I'm going to hand over to you. I'm going to click a button and add your slides to the screen. And I'm going to fade off into the distance for a couple of minutes. And this is anything you need from me. I'll be back in a minute or two.
Will, please pop back on considering the laptop I'm using. If there's anything not coming through clearly, please just let me know, okay? All right. So very excited to be here. Just a brief introduction of myself. I'm Alex Isaacs. I'm an educational technology coach at Long Branch Public Schools. I'm a former math teacher in 8th grade, and Mote was a tool that I was using every single day with my students, whether it was when I was a teacher in hybrid and remote learning settings to when we all came back and I was trying to get kids engaged in my math class. So this is a platform I've been using since the beginning. I've been a proud Mote ambassador and Mote ambassador leader. It's just so great for me to be a part of this webinar, and I can't wait to show you some of the new features that Mote is sporting these days. So just want to kind of introduce you to the new sidebar. You're going to have multiple different options available to you. Shout out to Stacy Roshan. She was very big on the order of these buttons being so, good with organization and how something should look and function. So you have the play page option, which is going to be at the top. And I guess we could actually bring it in at this point. So once you have the Mote Chrome extension installed, you will now have it. Once you click on that, you will have the Mote sidebar pop in to the right side of your screen. So I'm going to drag that over here just a little bit. So you have that play page feature right at the top. We're also going to talk to you about if there's a PDF or some other image that has text in it. We're going to show you how to use the select area to read tool, the classic Mote functionality of being able to record your voice, and depending on how long it's been since you've checked in on Mote, now the ability to generate and also upload audio messages remains right there. And probably the thing for me that would be most impactful in the educational settings that I'm in currently and in the past is this ability to highlight text and then have it translated with a transcript and with voice. So I would venture to say that any students who are neurodivergent, multilingual, this tool, these new features and integrations will benefit all of them in spades to the fullest. So we're going to kind of get started by talking about the play page feature, which is going to allow you to kind of just go into a Google Doc or a Google Slides deck and be able to play everything seamlessly. So I'm on this slide, which has the parts of a flower. And what you'll notice as a result of me having the Mote Chrome extension installed, when I click on a text box, you will see this little play button show up. Will, if you don't pop back on, I'm going to assume that the audio is fine.
The parts of a flower.
So hopefully
Anther, the part of the stamen where pollen is produced. The
now
parts
it's
of a
going to
flower.
continue reading, and I'm going to hit pause for a
Anther,
moment here.
the
Whoops. So you could see that it's not only reading it out loud in a voice with very good inflection and tone, but it's also highlighting the words as it goes along. And if you click on other text box, you'll notice that that play button snaps very nicely over to those new spots that you're selecting. But if we simply want to go play page, we can click on that top play button.
Peduncle, the stalk of a flower. Receptacle, the part of a flower.
So you can see that once again, they're highlighting the word as it goes along, good inflection. You have all of these different options available to you just under English. Ava is kind of the default one that's been agreed upon by the team at Mote and everyone who I've kind of been hearing using it. But at the same time, I really like Jane, and there's even Anna who will read aloud as a child. And I actually went into a classroom recently with a Mote Adobe Express App Smash and used Anna, and the kids were so impressed having that voice read to them the directions and otherwise. So you really have a lot of different options between the voice. You can also choose different languages. So you can have a dialect kind of sound or a different type of accent available to you as well. But considering we're dealing with English, I'm going to keep it as is. And you also have all of these different features available as far as speed and your playback. You can preview it right here. And Will, I could be wrong. I don't think that 1.75 was available the other day. Stacy mentioned it, and now it's in there. So just as a brief aside, we're kind of relaunching the community. We're relaunching Mote. We want to hear your feedback. So Mote is really a platform that takes its users' thoughts into mind. So I would encourage you see a feature that might be not there yet, or some type of friction you're experiencing, or you have an idea, reach out to me, reach out to Will, Eleni, Britt. We will all get it to the powers that be and make sure that it's put down the pipeline. So very easy ways to kind of play voice, either as a full page or just having it be where I can kind of select a text box and then hit the play button right there. Now, the next piece that I want to share is we're not always going to have Will, I'm sorry, did you pop on there?
Do you know what? I was going to say, yes, just to reinforce exactly what you're saying in terms of feedback. This is a product that has grown in partnership with users, and we've had some great input already from folks. You've already called it out. Stacy had some great suggestions on how to refine and improve the product. There's still more work to do, and we'll talk about some of the things that are on our roadmap. So we really would love your feedback. What do your students enjoy using? What is most helpful in the classroom? What is missing? All of these things will help us refine and improve this product, and also give us ideas as to where we want to take it forward. So I just wanted to reinforce your point, and then I'll duck back out of the way.
I have good hearing, Will. I just heard you kind of click on there, but appreciate your sentiments. It's real. And for anybody who might not know me, I'm involved in many different EdTech platforms and communities. Mote, you really do have that voice between the tool and the ability to get some new features integrated and really be able to share with Will and the engineering team. So the next thing that I want to talk about is we're not always going to have text that's going to be editable or text that is outside of a picture. So there's also this ability, that second button on the Mote sidebar, to this butterfly image, it's not actually text boxes. This whole slide right here is all an image. So what I can do now is select this select area to read tool, and I can now click and drag over a word.
Head.
So she really made me earn that one right there. But what's also nice is that I can kind of select a bit more than that, and I can kind of select each of the words. Will, I don't think I've ever gotten thorax fully in there. But we're going to listen to these words be read now. So it's literally scanning.
Head, antenna, wing, veins, abdomen.
So it missed thorax because I didn't quite get it in there. But again, you'll see that same highlighting of the word capability going on. So you really do have options as far as, I think Will's going to maybe show off a little bit in a PDF where that's coming down the road. We're going to have a full integration within PDF files. But for now, that ability to simply click and drag over a space to highlight a word and then have it read aloud, that's going to be the solution for now. And it functions very well within different types of files. So you're not limited to Google Docs or slide templates that have text boxes included. You can, if you have text on a page or within an image, you can use that select area tool, and it's going to read those aloud while highlighting it for you. Now, again, at this point, I think probably the most impactful for, again, me being in multilingual classrooms throughout the entirety of my teaching career is this translate feature. So this one functions a little bit differently. All you need to do on this one is go to some form of text and then just click and drag to highlight it. So sometimes it doesn't quite kick up. It's most likely because of the laptop that I'm on. I'm going to refresh the page. And I'm going to go back to that slide. Actually, let's go into this one right here. Let's see if we're doing better here. So I'm going to highlight this text. And now you'll see that that translate button is able to be interacted with. So I really love the ability for two reasons to use this translate option. Number one, you can pick a language, over 50 of them. So let's say in my district, Espanol is the most spoken language along with Portuguese. When I click to change that language, you not only get the text transcript translated for you, but you also have the ability to play back.
Las mariposas son unas de las criaturas más coloridas y fascinantes de la Tierra.
And for anybody out there who speaks Spanish or even remembers their Spanish from back in the day, that is very good inflection in tone by the bot that is reading that transcribed message. So that ability to simply be anywhere on the internet, it is not just Google Docs. I could be in a Nat Geo article. I am able to highlight that text and then have it translated for me, where once again, I have those playback speed options available to me, and you could change it to whatever language you like. So that to me, it's again, that little bit of the change in Mote, but still having that foundation. I love the fact that it's almost like it's, I had to kind of front load those translated audio messages back in the day for my students to explain things. Now it's not needed. I can use Mote as far as recording, generating, uploading to form those connections with students. And now they have this tool in their toolkit to be able to read, listen to any type of text available to them on the web. And one thing that I do want to share that I'm actually going to be putting into practice, again, a shout out to Stacy Roshan. She actually uses that play page button in the doc she's composing so that she's able to hear how she wrote and if it sounds natural or not. So I'm going to be picking that up when I write some more blog posts to kind of see how my tone is, letting Mote read it back to me. Now, the last piece, as far as Read Aloud goes, that's actually been around before the other functionality is Google Forms Read Aloud. And once again, I had this when I was a math teacher. If I did, I would have been using this on all of my assessments for my multilingual learners or students who had IEPs as a result of visual impairments or anything like that. So this is very simple to kind of change and edit to fit your needs. Once you have Mote installed, once again, you can click on the Mote icon within Google Forms, and I'll turn it off so it's as if we're just starting from scratch. So first you'll select text to speech. Once you enable that, you'll see a form language underneath. This is actually detecting the language in your form. So world language teachers, bilingual teachers, you have a form that's in another language. Mote's going to detect that for you and be able to provide your listeners with text to speech. But I'm also going to turn on translation here as well. And once you click that, click add text to speech. And you didn't see it here, but it will actually add in read aloud and or translation enabled with Mote, depending on your settings. So you have that cue that it is enabled, because we don't see anything here that's letting us know that Forms Read Aloud is happening. Where we're going to see it is when we go into preview or when we are a respondent. So I probably should have had this tab open with this ancient laptop that I'm using so that the sound is being shared. Will, worst case, if this, oh, there we go, sound icons just popped up as I was starting to get nervous. So here's the great thing. I can click play on any of these very unobtrusive purple and white sound icons.
The life cycle of a butterfly.
I mean, I'm ready to complete this Google form with Jane reading to me. I got to tell you, I'm jazzed. But at the same time, and I saw Shelly do this earlier, did a great job with it. Congrats, Shelly. Always nice to see you in a webinar. I can also long hold to pull up the ability to translate that text prior to that sound icon. So let's say that in this case, I wanted to go with Italiano. Let's go with my heritage. I could then change it where the transcript is now translated into Italian. And if I hit play.
Metti alla prova la tua conoscenza sulle farfalle.
I mean, I just want to go eat some pasta and be on the Amalfi Coast after listening to that bot read back to me. My mom, if she was around, she would have been so proud to have me have that read aloud in Italian. So you have the ability to do that with not only the description, the title, you also have it on any answer options. So you can listen to egg, caterpillar, all of these different words that relate to the butterfly. We're kind of on a butterfly theme at Mote. I guess maybe we're being reborn. Well, we're coming out of that chrysalis and that little cocoon, and we're reborn as this amazing tool with read aloud capabilities. Probably going way too far, but I'm throwing it out there. So you could see that anywhere within the Google form, those very basic sound icons are available with both read aloud and translation capabilities. So, Will, I think I've kind of touched on all of the new stuff. Maybe you want to share a little bit about PDFs, but I just wanted to try to keep it tight at this webinar. And if I was in attendance looking at this type of read aloud functionality, I would be inspired to download the Chrome extension and get this going, especially if I had diverse learners in my classroom. And at this point around the world, who doesn't have a diverse classroom? So hope it was helpful. Hope everybody can take away at least one integration to use in their class. And Will, I don't think I could have more fun presenting on an ed tech tool besides Mote. So always fun, and just happy for a little bit of conversation to close out here.
Sorry, did the whole.
I got scared, Will. You scared?
I was thanking you. I was saying how great a job you did. You know, but we can. No, it was a great overview. Thank you. And if you want to go back to your slides, actually, because there's a couple of things in that slide deck we can speak to as well. Because I think one of the things we briefly touched on this. We're not going to talk too much about it, but all of the things that you know and love about Mote and voice recording and uploading content, integrating into places like Google Slides, still there and still exists, and also with Google Forms. So again, if you want to use your voice, that option remains, and it's still an extremely powerful and valuable set of tools. If you can just go to the next page. Talked about that, and then I think we have the community page.
Oh, this is an important one, Will. This is an exciting one.
Yeah, so this has been a labor of love. I know you've been putting in a lot of work on this, and it's looking fantastic. But I'm really proud, because I do think we know how busy educators are, and we also know how important it is that you understand these tools so that you can apply them. And with the new Mote community site and the Mote Academy, I think we have created a really powerful resource. It's free. It's completely free. It's super easy to get started. Anyone can sign up, and you can take these courses. We've designed them to take you maybe 20 to 30 minutes, Alex, to complete. And each one is a module or a pathway focused on one particular skill area. And recently, just last week, we launched the Mote Read Aloud pathway. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, but you're still thinking, I'm not sure, I need to learn a bit more, go check that out. It's a great little course. And by the end of it, you'll be confident in all these tools, and you'll have an opportunity to carry on your learning. You'll also get an extended free trial with Mote and a badge and a certificate. So a whole bunch of good reasons to go check that out.
And Will, I just got to say, I had never really delved into the course creation field of educational technology. I'm thankful for you having enough faith in me to produce quality content for the masses. I did my best to put a little bit of Mote magic into every single one of the courses that I designed, and also collaborated with you on in a couple of instances. So I would just encourage everybody, if you're for accessibility, if you're for innovating in your classroom, this is a great space to really have some wonderful new coursework that we've instituted. I'm a total tech nerd. I'm actually applying the badges to anybody who completes the coursework, and I just find the little baby badges to be so delightful. So we're excited to have our ambassadors join us. There are certified educators, and anybody else who just wants to really tap into what Mote can offer their students. So I'd love to hear your feedback if you decide to take any of those courses. I know Will follow up with a Google form once you complete any. Yep. But this was, as Will said earlier, this truly was a labor of love, and I will take feedback, make edits, and make those courses even more effective than they already are. So, Will, thankful for the opportunity, and just excited to see people enjoy them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree. So, Mote community, go there. You'll see it, the Mote Academy. Bunch of courses, they're all great. The next bit, so actually I wanted to first start, there's one or two questions that have come in. Hey Savannah, will this be available to rewatch later? Yes, we're going to leave it up on the YouTube page, and we'll probably share it out on socials as well. So you can always rewind. If you're here right now, then you can hit rewind and watch it, but wait just a minute or two. Because we've got a few Q&A, and we'll round things up. And you might have some more questions for us. So if anyone does have any questions, please, now is the time to throw them into the chat. But in the meantime, there were a few questions that were submitted earlier over the past few days by folks as you signed up. I wanted to tackle some of those. So first question was, does Read Aloud work with PDFs? And the short answer is yes. And we're going to do even more in the future. So maybe I can start by just sharing my own screen. I've got a screen to share, but I will say I have not been able to get audio to work on StreamYard, so I'm afraid I'm just going to have to take it on faith that the
Believe
audio.
believe us, it is actually reading.
So the key thing is, I mean, imagine this is pretty straightforward, but this is a page that has a .pdf URL you can see here, and this is a PDF document. And if I click, and I'll show you, if I click play page, this is what it's going to say. It's say, sorry to play this page, because that functionality can't see any text because it's a single great big document, right? So unfortunately, that doesn't work. However, don't worry, because we have a fallback, and the fallback is our select area function. Now, actually, I was showing someone this earlier. So if you can't cover it from the top left, you can always basically drag from anywhere, and you can grab that text. And you can't hear that, can you?
The bummer, Will, but it's okay. We assure everybody you're not going to be presenting on StreamYard while using this. It'll be with your students. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Your students will be fine, and they will be fine too. So again, that works really well. So you could go through this, your students would go through this if they had any uncertainty, and they could use that functionality. But what?
Well, I just want to say, just kind of experimenting a little bit today, I was actually able to take text from a video and use that select area tool, and it was reading that too. So there's a lot of great integrations with that.
It's a very simple tool, but it is intended to work pretty much on any printed text that's written, certainly right to left in English. There are some limitations. We don't support other languages right now. If the text is upside down or left to right, it's not going to work perfectly. If it's handwritten, it also might face some challenges. These are sorts of things you might expect. Now, over time, some of those limitations we will address, including support for other languages, and as I mentioned, having PDF support. So we will have a full experience for reading all the text in PDFs, just as you can in something like a Google Doc, or as Alex mentioned, a website like National Geographic. So you can already, and I don't think we showed Mote using the Read Aloud working on a website earlier, but it does already work across the web. You should try it on websites and use the functionality that we have. I was going to go back. Oh, this is your page. Could you go back to that?
Is that
page?
me, Will? Didn't know you were going back to me. All right, we're back on the Q&A. My bad.
Just back to the Q&A pages. All right, thank you.
All right.
So the next question, which is an awesome one, was, can I use Mote Read Aloud with blind and visually impaired students? And I actually did a little demo earlier today, which I'm not going to repeat because it's a little unfair, because I've got a version of the extension which is just prior to launch, so I'm testing it right now. But the short answer is we have designed the extension to work with the WCAG accessibility standards. You can use it hands-free, and it does support screen readers. But we'd love to hear your feedback if you are working with blind and visually impaired students. We think it will work really well, but we've not truthfully had the chance to test it with those students ourselves. So if you have a story, if you have a class, we'd love to hear if it's helpful. And if you find any limitations, we'd love to work with you on finding solutions to those. Can I disable translation? Alex, you want to take this one?
Well, I mean, Will, that's actually a good question. I mean, I know you don't have to turn it on with the Google Form integration, but as far as the screen reading capabilities, is there a way to turn that off? I'm going to pose it right back to you.
Yeah, well, it is a good one. I mean, we do here. So what, as Alex showed with that Google Forms demo, there is that option to enable translation, but by default it's off, because we hear from language teachers, world language teachers, that yes, they would like students to not have access to translation. So we understand there are certain students that you want to have that access and others that you don't. And you could make different versions. If you've got students in your class that don't have that accommodation, where you can make a version that doesn't have the translation enabled for them. In terms of the rest, in terms of the sidebar that we've been looking at, as of now, there are no teacher controls on access to that. So if a student has the sidebar and they have a Mote account, Mote subscription, then they will have access to translation. However, we understand the importance of those teacher controls, and we are going to be rolling out more functionality so that you will have more fine-grained control to say, hey, I don't want these students. I want this student to have access to translation, but I don't want these students to have access to translation. And you'll have that ability. And the final one here, can I achieve a Mote Read Aloud certification? I think we've already covered this, but just to reiterate, yes, go to the community.mote.com website, join up, complete the Mote Academy course on Read Aloud, and you'll get a certification, you'll get a badge, you'll get an extension of a free trial if you're on a free trial, and you will be much more wise about using Mote Read Aloud. Have we had any other questions from the floor?
Well, I believe it was Savannah who dropped one in the chat.
Yeah, is there a way that students can play the audio that we've linked onto a Google form without requiring? Savannah, they absolutely can, and it sounds like you would benefit from taking one of the courses on the Mote Academy, because we talk about this a lot. So students should have the Mote Chrome extension installed on their devices. If they have a Chromebook, it's very easy to do. You may need to speak to IT to get some approvals. We're installed on millions of student Chromebooks. There's no reason why your school or district should not approve Mote use for students. So, and explain to them why it's beneficial. It also is required to unlock that auto read aloud capability that we were showcasing earlier as well. So get the students access to the extension, and then they will never have to click on a link because all of the content will be there. And what's more, if you use locked mode with Google Forms, you can even use lock mode because Mote is supported by Google locked mode. We're one of a very small number of products that have been approved by Google to work within Forms in locked mode. So it's a no-brainer to get IT to approve Mote for locked mode.
And well, really quickly, I know something that we didn't address today. As you said, in each of those different courses that we collaborated on, Billy as well, there is the audience experience in each of the different parts of the course.
Yes.
So whether a person has Mote installed or does not, you're still going to get the perspective of both. And I think it's very important to share, Will, that even without the Mote Chrome extension installed, if it's just purely being used for messaging and stuff and verbal feedback, you do get brought to a landing page with all the accessibility features and that kind of translation option. So you're not being limited, but you're not getting the full breadth of what Mote offers you and your students. So, but there is still that accessibility piece on the landing page.
It's true, and we've obviously tried to make that experience as good as possible. But I think what Savannah is getting at here is something we hear a lot, which is you don't want students clicking on links.
Absolutely.
And so for that reason, they need the Chrome extension stored. It is really a conversation, and we can help with that conversation. We have some literature that we can share that you can pass on to the IT department that makes the case. So please let us reach out if that would help, Savannah. All right. Well, I think that is about a wrap, unless we see any other questions. Brittany, she says she loves the demo. What can't Mote do? I mean, there is a list. There are some things that Mote can't do, but I appreciate the sentiment, Britt. And pasta sounds great. Yes, your Italian heritage
came through. Well, I'm always pleased to kind of share that. I don't do enough of it other than the gold chain with the horn sticking out, but it was a pleasure to join you, Will. It was a pleasure to watch the previous two sessions. I'll be active and attractive in the chat in the fourth and final webinar for today. And more than anything, just hope for more opportunities like this to really share the Mote magic around the world and all that this can do for learners and teachers. It was just a pleasure, Will. So looking forward to the next one.
You too, Alex. Want to thank you for putting, as you always do, you're such a pro. You put so much work into this. So thank you. And thank you everyone who joined and is watching on demand. And you know where to find us. So thanks very much, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.